What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, there's been a lot of crazy stuff happening. I gotta go into all the political blah 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 da da da. All that stuff is stuff that we don't want to talk about, really, because I mean, it's like if I created a podcast that was like on religion or politics, then it'd be a different story. But we about video games. We're trying to play games, although certain things are important to talk and discuss. This one's it's a little weird. It's a little telling of. I don't want to say telling of the times because you can look at history and see different points in history where just some bullshit happens. And it's been throughout my generation, my lifetime, obviously, many, many times. And then even before me, and it's going to continue to happen. So I would just say, just try not to be a dick. Try that. I have problems trying that. Sometimes I slip into the D. Pause. You know what I'm saying? D mode. That don't sound right either. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I want to talk about PlayStation, of course, because they're cool. No, they're not. Because Matt Piscatella said, yo, check it out. I got numbers. Because I work for the numbers company. And they gave me the numbers. I'm going to give you the numbers. Here's the numbers. And so the numbers were, this was surprising to me because I'm like, this is like information that I like. And basically he put out the all-time highest selling titles by dollar amount and by unit from the PlayStation. All the way back to 1995, I believe. So the entire history of PlayStation sales numbers. Now we know Donkey Unicorns and Ponies. Pause for a second. I didn't realize someone in the comments on last video asked what a pony was. And I didn't realize there were people out there who still don't know what ponies are. And that tells me that some casuals are bleeding into what we're talking about, what us non-casuals are talking about, which is good. So we need to educate these casuals as to what's going on so they don't just blindly buy a PlayStation because everybody thinks it's the most popular console, or it is the most popular console, but is it the best? No, it's not. Technically, for that person who didn't know what a pony was, the PlayStation, the PS5 is not as powerful as the Xbox Series X. The PlayStation 5 Pro is slightly more powerful, if you want to, in certain respects, I would say, than the Xbox Series X, not in the CPU, but in the GPU, yes. So, and it also costs almost $800. It's over $800 if you want to get everything and stuff. Close to $900. Anyway, sidetrack. So Matt said, yo, bring, here's the numbers. And so he put the numbers out for the entire history of PlayStation's existence, top selling games, the top 20. Guess how many games were PlayStation first party? Out of 20. One game. And guess what? There's something about that game that's funny. It's not a PlayStation game. It's not a PlayStation owned game. It's not a PlayStation IP. It's a Marvel IP. It's Spider-Man, obviously. Spider-Man 2018, I believe it was. And so I'm like, hold up. They only got one game on that list, and it's not even their game. And we already know from the leaks that the revenue split between Disney and Sony with that game is redonkulous, and Disney's just with their kicking their feet up like, ha ha ha, these idiots are paying all this, ha ha ha. Oh man. And Sony's sitting there crying like, we gotta give all our money to Disney because we want Spider-Man to sell our consoles. I don't know how many times. See, that's the thing, right? They do it to sell consoles, but they're not selling enough games, right? And I don't know what the contracts say, like they have to sell a certain amount of games or something. I don't even know. Or maybe past a certain amount of games, they get to keep more. I doubt that is because, Disney is like, nah, son, money. Okay, yeah. Money. money. Okay, that's the language that Disney speaks. That's what Sony's trying to speak that language too, but they're having problems because they suck at. They're not good at money because they spend money on things that are just failures, colossal failures. Let's just say historic video game failures. That's Sony. You think of historic video game failures, you think of Sony. Anyway, so the top 20, Spider-Man was in the middle somewhere, like number 11 or something. I can't remember where it was. Most of the games were Microsoft games, now owned Microsoft games, because they bought Call of Duty, they bought ABK. And most of that list, I believe 11 out of the 20 games, maybe more, were Call of Duty games. Various versions, various installed various, games in this franchise across the 30 years. Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty. I think there was Tony Hawk up there too. Like, wait, Tony Hawk? And Call of Duty Black Ops 6 was up there. That's the newest game in the list. It came out not even a year ago, and it's already the top revenue making on PlayStation. And I mean, remember, this is the whole entire existence, the whole entire history of PlayStation. They don't have they don't have a single first party IP on that list. Now, the unit sales is different. The unit sales, I think Minecraft is on there. But that's different because you can have super sales, sell it for $1, whatever, and whatever. So there's ways to fudge those numbers, as your boy Sean Layden likes to say. But revenue, you can't really fudge those numbers. I mean, I guess you can if you include the console, the bundles. But I don't know. I don't know if the bundles were included in that number. So I would have to look at the data on that. But so let's imagine that they weren't, so that the revenue would be less. Because like something like Spider-Man 2018, I know they had they had bundles and stuff and consoles. So like I said, but even that aside, doesn't even matter, because the fact that they don't have a first party IP on that list, on the whole existence of PlayStation. You got God of War, The Last of Us, Uncharted, Ratchet and Clank, all these games that sold, all the bangers, right? Killzone, all these bangers. It seems that in the history of PlayStation, they've never really sold that well because they're not on the list. If they were the bangers that they're supposed to be, they would be. So all this time, we're talking about, oh, they got bangers, that's why they're selling consoles. No, it's always been Call of Duty. And the thing that I realized is that, I always said this before, I said, Microsoft is a data-driven corporation, right? They look at the numbers, they look at data, they look at trends, they look at all these things, right? And so I'm pretty sure they had the numbers on that. And they're like, they bought ABK, and then they went and they said, let's look at the past, let's see what's going on there. And freaking Josh is in the basement looking like on his old Tandy, looking at the green and black screen, looking at some numbers, like, oh, I wonder what's, hey. And he finds some digital archives that gives the numbers, like, wait a second, Call of Duty, he's been selling all these, oh my gosh, I gotta bring this to Phil Spencer. And he types it up on the dot matrix printer. He's running through the halls. Oh, snap. Phil, Mr. Spencer, I have an important announcement. He's like, hold on, I have a coffee date with Sarah and Maddie. Can this wait? No, it can't wait. I just gotta show you this. He throws a paper out and Phil's like, okay, just tell it to me. And he does. And Phil's like, oh, okay, hold up. This coffee date has turned into a emergency meeting now. Let's go. All hands on deck. Boosh. And yeah, rest is history, I guess. But I mean, look, it changes the context of this whole console war thing, right? All these years, PlayStation has been crippled and relying on third party to survive. They suck at making games because they can't sell games. And it's not just now. It's been happening forever. And they say, oh, look how many game units that God of War sold. It's like, that's great, but it's not on the money list, which is the most important. The money list is more important than the units. I hope y'all know that, right? Hiroki Toki sitting there, money guy. I'm the money guy, Hiroki Totoki. Units, the unit guys over there. That's Jim Ryan. He's the units guys. Oh, if you notice, he don't work here no more because that don't matter. Money, units, out the door. So it's like, yo, they have historically not sold first-party games. I mean, like I said, units aside, they're not making any money. They're not making any money. They haven't been making any money. For the history of PlayStation, I'm looking at it, I'm like, no. This can't. Spider-Man, really? There's nothing else. Just it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that I'm like, PlayStation, especially now, they have like very little shot at coming back, like being number one anymore, because A, they don't have the volume of games, they don't have the consistency of games. I don't think the quality is going to be up to snuff. They'll have a certain quality as far as, oh, it's movie like, but that's not the quality that people are looking for anymore. They want gameplay quality. They want fun. This is the funnest game I ever played. I was playing Shinobi yesterday. I started, I got back to, actually, I didn't even get to the dojo yet. Just before the dojo. Oh, I just got to the dojo, which is like right in the beginning of the game. But I was like, let me start this again, boom, boom, so I can appreciate it, because I was really feeling it, because the Ben F, I'll just say, call him that. He's the man. Last video I was yelling his praises because he needs to make more Space Harrier, please. Anyway, the whole history of PlayStation has been a sham. I'm looking at it, I'm like, y'all have been playing around for 30 years. What have y'all been doing? How come y'all can't sell more than boom? And then I bet you somebody's gonna be at some point, I bet you they did the list on Xbox, it'd be the same thing. I don't know. I mean, the evidence points that Xbox gamers buy more games than PlayStation gamers. I'm just saying. I mean, look, PlayStation in an experiment, they said, yo, we're gonna put Helldivers 2, let's see how much it sells. It sold better on Xbox than PlayStation and the same time frame. So with less Xbox owners, with less Xbox consoles out there, it sold more on Xbox. How is this possible? Because we buy more games per, if you want to do it, attachment ratio. But look, they're always going to have some kind of goofy argument against Xbox. I was listening to Dirt and Sean today, and they pulled up a clip of Mooch and Nib, I think. And Nib was praising Game Pass. Like, yo, Game Pass this year has been dope for Game Pass, blah, 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 whatever. Paraphrasing. Then Mooch comes up and says, oh, yeah, you know what? I don't really like it because the rumble in the controller is horrible. I'm like, and Sean and Dirt said the same thing. They said, what does that have to do with Game Pass? So Mooch is so dumb that he doesn't realize. Yes, I called Mooch dumb. He's so dumb that he doesn't realize that you could play an Xbox game on Game Pass with a PlayStation controller. This is how you do it. He can do it, and he can do it how he has his own setup because he plays on PC. You go to Xbox PC. I mean, you go to Game Pass PC, Xbox Game Pass PC, and then you play the game, and then you hook up your DualSense, and then you play the game. That's how you do it. I'm just saying. I don't know if the prompts will be correct. I have no idea. But, or you could play it on Steam, but we're talking about Game Pass. Or maybe Game Pass doesn't allow you to use a PlayStation controller. I doubt that, but whatever. I mean, look, he's just an idiot. and he's talking about Rumble, trying to have a point against Xbox because that's his shtick. Like I said in the last video, no, the video before last, that these donkey unicorns and ponies fanboys that have created sites and channels that have a certain narrative, which is anti-Xbox, pro-PlayStation, are losing their minds because PlayStation has lost their minds. And PlayStation is going down. And they're going down the same rabbit hole that Xbox presumably did. And Xbox lost. So if PlayStation is following Xbox, is PlayStation losing right now? Or why would they follow a loss? Why would they follow a loser? Winners don't follow losers. So I don't understand. There's nothing they can say. I'm just, whatever. We've gone through that. But I'm just saying, this list is very telling. And, you know, we get lists every month or whatever, and that's fine. And we say, oh man, Xbox is dominating the charts. Xbox is dominating PlayStation Store, right? But this is different. This is the history of PlayStation, the entire history of PlayStation. And you look at that list and you're like, PlayStation got some work to do. I don't think they can do it. Not now. They had a chance back when, I guess before Jim Ryan. Before the Jim Ryan era, everything, they had a chance to do some stuff. But they went the wrong direction. They spent too much money. They made wrong business decisions. And they've been doing that concurrently and consistently for the past, well, for this whole generation. And partially of last generation. So maybe a good 10 years. But, you know, it's catching up now because it's like, oh, we make these big games. They don't really sell. But you notice, they don't really tell you how much money they actually made off of a game here. They just say, oh, it sold this many units. Oh, it's a success. Say, okay, well, how much money do you make off of it though? Because if it costs you $500 million to make a game, how much money are you making? If it costs you $315 million to make Spider-Man 2, how much money did you make off of that? After the cut you have to give to Papa Disney? I'm just saying, you know, they don't give you those numbers because those numbers don't make them look good. They make them look foolish, and they make them look like they don't know what they're doing. And we've seen a bunch of examples this gen of how Sony doesn't know what they're doing. PlayStation doesn't know what they're doing. They bought Bungie. That was the biggest. They should have called Phil and be like, yo, what's up with Bungie? Why didn't you guys buy Bungie when, we had them before. You can have them now. No, they're good. They make good games. Yeah, they're great. Just, yeah, sure. No, you can have it. Are you sure? You sure? They're okay? Oh yeah, they make, I mean, look, Halo. They made Halo. The Destiny is pretty good, right? I mean, yeah. Okay, Phil. Don't make me come back here and be mad at you. Hey, look, you a grown ass company. Hey, that's your money. That's your money. Oh yeah. Speaking of money, how much should we pay for? Look, I'm sorry. You breaking up. I can't. Click. Like click. He's like boop. Yeah, nah. I don't. It's just I never thought that the downfall of Sony would be this catastrophic, because I'm like, you look at every little piece of it. You like Concord, the biggest failure in the history of video games. Ouch. Now this list comes out. They haven't made a money-making hit, you know, a top 20 money-making hit in the history of their existence. In the history of PlayStation, they have not cracked the top 20 of making money with their games. That totally changes the context of PlayStation as the market leader of what? Of making bad decisions? Of paying too much for a studio? They're number one at that. They're number one losers. Right now, but anyway, sorry rambling. I appreciate you hanging out. Like and subscribe. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what you think about that list. And as far as like the Spider-Man thing, I'll look into it. Or if anybody knows in the comments, let me know in the comments about the whole, if the console bundles counted as far as revenue made toward that list. That would make sense to me, but you know, who knows? I don't know. But yeah, I appreciate you guys a lot. And I'll talk to y'all next one. Till the week.